Astoria Woodworkers Collective started kind of as there's just a need, I think, in Queens and in the Astoria area, right, for community access to a wood shop. There's nothing here. Sort of an idea where we were kind of going crazy during the pandemic, not being able to do anything with our hands. So my partner actually encouraged me to post something on Reddit just to ask if there were any other woodworkers that would be interested in starting a shop like this. And that went well. We had a few meetups over in Astoria Park, and then we more formally organized earlier this year in March.
Part of our mandate is to make Astoria beautiful and to enrich our community through the art of woodworking. So we love working with other nonprofits. We love working with really local community organizations to do any kind of project. The way we typically like to set that up is that they have a need to build something. We then pull in the experience and through our volunteers, the power, the hands-on to actually get it done. But then we also flip that around and make sure that it's a very educational experience for our volunteers so that people with all levels of ability can come and still learn and still participate and still be really proactive. So the Puppet Theater project specifically was a really good fit for us. One, we had already done a project here at Moore Jackson. The space is great, the aesthetic is great, and it seemed like the kind of thing that IWC was going to be really good at executing. Plus, it really fits our mandate in a lot of ways. One, it's giving back to the community. This is a really active, fertile space. That's a great structure for puppet shows, for any kind of bake sales or potting demonstrations, whatever they need it to be. It's flexible for that. At the same time, it does give us that opportunity to be able to open up volunteer spots so that we can pull people in, teach people how to use tools, teach people how to do woodworking. And so it, for us, fit all of our needs and fit the need of the space. So it was a really great project.
I'm one of the co-founders of the project here. We started this community garden, which is attached to a colonial era cemetery 4 years ago. This land was covered in Japanese knotweed, 75% of it, and we suppressed it all in order to create this community space that we could give back to our neighbors so that they could have events like this and bring their children here to learn about growing food and composting and all the things that a lot of city kids don't get to experience. I reached out to Astoria Woodworkers Collective because we had some garden interns this summer, and part of their project, their culminating project, was making a sandbox for the children. And I had never used a power tool before. So I somehow found them on Instagram and reached out to them to see if they could even just teach me how to use a power tool. And they instead came and really got it started for me and showed me how to do so many things that I never did before. And then in talking about the garden and everything that we're doing here, I showed them that we had this kind of half-started puppet theater that our artist in residence, Kim, who goes by Twig, had this idea behind, having a puppet theater that we could put on shows for the kids and also teach them how to make puppets themselves. And so what happened was the pandemic hit, and that just kind of that project stopped. But when we learned about them and talked to them about it, that was really right up their alley, and they wanted to get around that project. So they've been wonderful, leading the project and getting all these volunteers from the community, and it is so special. And we were able to dedicate it to Twig, who is our guy that has been putting on arts and crafts events here for years. So we're really privileged to have him, and so happy that we got connected with the woodworkers. So it's been a really great partnership. We wanted to dedicate this puppet theater and call it
My name's Kim. I go by the art name Twig, which I got from a David Bowie song, Driving Saturday. I've been an artist since I was very, very small. This garden actually, when I first moved here, was a lot, and it's virtually nothing in here, and people used to hang out and drink and do their thing, And just one day I was walking by, I noticed a whole bunch of people in here just like clearing it out. And then a couple of weeks after that, I noticed growth starting to happen. But I still didn't really recognize what was going on. Then I met Elizabeth, and I came in and I introduced myself. And that's when I suggested the idea, just to have a puppet stage, puppets, hand puppets for the little ones, marionette puppets for the older kids and the parents, and then a puppet stage to put on shows during seasons or parties of any sort. The wood we acquired from the plantation pots, over here we had a lot of extra wood, and I just thought, I was upstairs in my house and I said, wouldn't that be great? We have all this extra wood just to put together a new puppet stage. When Elizabeth found these wonderful people and they started this project once again, I was overwhelmed. I think it's awesome. Everything that I had thought, the hand puppet down below, the marionette puppets up above, they got it right on the line. I was actually intending for the puppets theater be like permanently placed somewhere within the area of the cemetery.
Well, for many years, this was, as you know, this is the Jackson Moore family cemetery. Also, members of the Hallett family are buried here. They're buried right over there. And this dates back to the colonial era, this half-acre of land. And for many years, it was filled with weeds and overgrowth and was pretty much overlooked and abandoned. And then years ago, there was a movement to have the area cleaned up, to have it preserved. And then I believe a couple of years ago, there was the installation of this beautiful garden.
There's a long list of community volunteers and folks that are interested in getting involved. And some of them have varying degrees of hobby woodworking. Some of them don't have any, but they want to learn some. So it's really, it would become a great resource as soon as they're established and they have that space and those resources to share.
I think this is, I see the garden as a living laboratory, and so I see the kids actually like learning about science in a very hands-on way.
I help plant, or sometimes I just play. I had a chance to go behind and see the puppets, and I got a chance to play with Greta, the ghost.
Getting to be part of projects like this, I think, is really special for us. As we grow over the next couple of years, like, we're definitely involved in trying to make Astoria beautiful through woodworking. We have a couple of projects coming up, maybe not as artistic, but like they're going to be really impactful, I think, on the community. And so we're excited about that. And then next year, I think we are going to try and like amp up the size and scale of our projects a little bit. Again, one of our main missions is to make Astoria beautiful through the art of woodworking and just pulling people in, making sure that we're like providing those educational experiences as well.